Welcome back to the studio, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with Evelyn Ravindran. Evelyn, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you, Mitch, for the offer of coming in and interviewing.
All right, so let's get to the ground rules. You have 60 minutes. Use as much or as little of that time as you'd like. These are straight cut videos. The only edit points happen because this camera shoots in 10-minute segments. I have a timer here to keep track of that. We'll reset it every once in a while. And also, no talking about other people, and that is your ground rules. So with that being said, we can jump in. So first thing, for those out there that know you and don't know you, could you please tell us about yourself?
Sure. I was born and raised here on the L'Anse Indian Reservation. I come from the Picard family. My grandma is Helene Welsh, and my mother is Judith Smith. Many people probably remember my mom was a longtime conservation officer in this community, and I attribute both women to giving me my strong connections to the land, the air, the water, and all the beings within it in this community. And I have many siblings in this area as well.
How many?
Well, there's 7 of us all together.
And where are you at in the 7?
I'm the second one.
Second?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. And so there's many of us that are still in the community. There's a few of us outside, but they get back as often as they can. Sarah, Francis, Billy, Catherine, Stephen. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few, but so we get to visit quite a bit around here. I have 4 children and 3 beautiful granddaughters.
Okay, very good. Can you tell us a little bit about your history with tribal politics?
I don't have a lot of history, I would say, with tribal politics. I have a lot of history with the tribe.
Okay.
I don't think there's really a separation of it. It's the way we live. We're very community-minded here. I think everybody has opinions, and they're valued opinions, and everybody is involved in the way we live, and that's really what it's called. It's not really politics.
Okay, so have you ran for tribal council before?
No. Well, one time I did, and as far as other, I guess, civic-minded things I've done, I've served on committees. I've served on the Cultural Committee, the Natural Resources Committee, Economic Development Committee, Parks and Rec Committee, and in the community, I've also been a part of the Holy Name of Jesus and Blessed Kateri Parish Council and the Finance Council.
So what motivated you to run for council this time around?
Well, I heard Mike Lafreniere was retiring from the council, and he's been always a strong supporter of natural resources, and I felt like I had something to offer that would be welcomed on the tribal council. So
can you tell us a little bit about when did you submit your letter? I mean, when did you decide that this is it, I'm going for it?
When I heard that, when Mike was
very instant.
Yeah, I did. Well, I thought about it a little bit. I talked about it with my family to see what they thought, and everybody was supportive.
Okay.
I just discussed it in my immediate family what they thought of it, and they were supportive of me doing this. I guess I've been looking a little bit more in the past years at some of the things like Title X, and would like to be more involved in legislation decisions and more strategic planning. And I seen this as a good move that I had a voice to offer. Okay.
Have you been out campaigning at all?
No, I haven't.
Have you been having any conversations with people? I mean, you said you spoke with your immediate family since, announcing that you're running. Have you been having conversations out there?
I didn't feel like I should.
Okay.
I felt like it was this is initial stages, and this is more of a feeler.
Okay.
That it's out there. I'm content if I don't move on to the next level, but I just wanted to put my interest out there and to see what kind of see what kind of support there is for me going any further.
Okay, very good. With that, I guess we can probably hop into these questions then. These are coming from the KBIC Tribal Members Facebook page, and it's a pool of questions that I've been pulling from, and it updates kind of every interview, so there could be kind of new ones. Okay. It doesn't look like there's been any new ones since that last interview I did, but we'll start right at the bottom with the latest question from Carrie Ashbrook. If elected, are you willing to go through leadership training?
Of course. I believe that leadership training is something that's been offered in tribal government, and I'm a strong supporter of it. I see in my current position as a natural resources director that relationship building is very important, and so leadership training would help with that.
Have you had any kind of training like that at all prior to this?
Yes, I have. There's been some courses that have been offered through our government that I've taken advantage of. And also communications. I think those are very important too for a leader.
Okay. Let's move on to this question. We'll go to this question from Marshall Lou Farr. Do you believe and support saying an Ojibwa prayer to our Creator and smudging before the council meeting?
I do. I think it's important that we acknowledge to begin with all of creation, and that we're there in a good way.
Very good. But I like these questions. They do the work for me. And this is another one that I've been liking lately. And these are just nice little, simple little questions. This one's from Boggy Sandman Shelf. And it seems like everybody else likes to answer it too. Do you live your life in a good way?
I think I do. I believe in following our first treaty with creation, and that's to honor all the nation's rights within our community. And do as little as we can to impact their rights.
Okay. So we'll kind of step aside from those. Those are kind of like idealistic questions, I guess you could say a little bit, but they're nice to hear everybody's angle on them. Let's go to one of the... This one's from Robert Gaylor. Will the council ever let tribal members who live within the ceded territory full tribal member rights? The big topic is off-reservation members voting and whatnot. What's your opinion on that?
About off-reservation voting?
Yeah, I felt like I should. Okay, we'll pick somebody else's question. That wasn't really phrased the right way there. This question is inspired by David Madash Sr. Do you believe that all members living within our ceded territory should be included in elections?
Absolutely. I think that we only strengthen our government with our people, and acknowledging them in that way would strengthen our government.
Okay. And just to break that down, go a little further, say we are looking into that, would you go more towards people within ceded territory or opening it up to all tribal members anywhere they live?
I think it should be ceded territory because it would be the people that are living in the lands where we have those rights. Not to say that other people aren't members when you live in California or further away, and we certainly welcome you back into these lands and we acknowledge our relationship. But the laws and the rules that apply to the lands that we live in really should be by the people living within them.
Okay, thank you very much. These timers are hitting already, so we're going to reset the cameras. Okay, just jumping back on that because we've just been getting different opinions, and I wanted to ask, when it comes to that, the voting members again, are you a fan of proxy voting or using technology to vote, or do you think people should have to vote in person?
I think that we should use what technology there is, if there is a way to do that and it's easier. I'd hate to think that an elder has to travel 3 or 4 hours, to get here to vote when there's an easier way to do it for them. So
like somebody, if it was open up to ceded territory members, they'd be able to vote from there and remotely? Okay. Because that's something that's one of those things where it's a quick turn. Some people are for it and they're not. So I'd like to ask. Okay, let's go to another question. We'll go to this one from Robin Chosa. What are some key elements for our tribe to ensure financial stability for our future generations?
I think start with the values of our people, that we want to ensure that what moves we make forward, that they're strategically planned. So start with the overarching strategic plan of our community, and then from there go and set those priorities. And from there when we start with a solid base, then we could move forward.
Okay.
I'm thinking that businesses, would be handled separately than directly by the tribal council. I see the tribal council as being legislative more than a business operation.
Okay. This is from Christine M. Mackey. How does serving fit in with your other responsibilities?
I think in my current position, I am a servant of the community.
Okay.
So this would fit right in.
Okay. And even, well, going more towards even the logistics of time and stuff, like you don't feel, you feel like you can work in the time?
I do. I'm not opposed to sitting there working longer hours in the day or working weekends. I'm used to doing that. And this is my community, and I want to make a difference in it.
Very good. Here's one from Christine Awanape. What is going to be done to strengthen our Ojibwe language and culture here at KBIC?
There's already initiatives that are started, and some of the things that I could see that have been discussed before is like the signage that goes up around the buildings, that goes up on the roadways. Those are some of those, bringing it more into the school system and having it in the classrooms more than as a separate class.
Okay.
I think that would gain more people interacting with the language,
like normalizing
it. Yeah. If it was in the regular classroom rather than viewed as a separate language classroom, then you would see people speaking it more.
Okay. And I like how you start it with the language like that. That's where it all kind of begins. So let's go with this one from Christine M. Mackey. What are some of your strengths and weaknesses? Wait, let's see. Well, she says, what are some of your strengths that would benefit serving on tribal council, and what are some of your weaknesses or personal challenges that may come up while serving? So 2 questions, I guess.
Okay. My strengths is I've been in government since 1990. I've been in this community. I know the people. I feel part of this community. So I would see all these as strengths. The weaknesses, there's also knowing the people, and sometimes I form opinions without having, I guess, more knowledge of it than I could.
Okay.
And I see that as being something that could change.
Okay. You said this is sort of a feeler for you, so I thought that was a good feeler question. Here's another good one. What does success look like for you while serving on tribal council?
What does it look like?
Yeah, as you sit here and you imagine what's your best case scenario right now? If I could do this while I'm there.
I think a working strategic plan for the tribal council, having laws that are updated and that are relevant for the community, for conservation, health, and safety of our community members, and working closely with local government, state government, and other tribes. Or more relationship building. Okay.
Another one of the big bullet points that have been coming up is the issue of blood quantum. What's your opinion on blood quantum?
I was very excited to hear about Red Lake and the changes they made, and I would be very excited to see KBIC moving in this direction. Blood quantum is not something our people recognize traditionally. We regularly adopted people into our community, and it seems exclusive to sit there and have people that their children are no longer recognized as being members. And I'm sure every family is feeling that now, that there's parts of their family that are no longer members, that they're called descendants, or I've heard another term that's kind of hurtful. It's like you're a second-class citizen almost. So I would like to see that stopped, and I was excited to see that Red Lake has done something, as well as other tribes. I know Sault Ste. Marie has done changes as well. But those are, it's exciting to hear about other communities taking an active stance that they're not going to allow their tribe to dwindle.
It does seem like something that is coming. So let's see here. Let's go to this one from Carrie Ashbrook. This is a question I think I've used in every interview. With the growing epidemic on drug abuse, increased tribal children in foster care, what has the tribe done to battle or should be doing to decrease this ongoing problem?
They are working at it. I think there's been work that's been going on for years on this, and will continue. There's a halfway house that's been built. It's a hard issue that touches everybody here, because we all love our families and we want the best for them, and that's sometimes it's hard choices that have to be made, and consequences for actions that not everybody's comfortable with yet.
Yep. So I think we're going to take this time now to reset the cameras again. Yes, we got our cameras going. We'll go back to these questions. You went through a lot of my bullet points pretty quick again. These candidates are getting good. So let's go to, all right, this one from Carrie Ashbrook. What do you think is the greatest challenges facing our tribe? And what should we do to move forward?
Food.
Food.
Yeah, I do. With continued contamination of our environment, increased population, I see food as being a growing issue for our community. Food's been part of our treaty rights to begin with. That's why our people ensured that we had such a big land base. They wanted to ensure that we had a way to feed ourselves. And we're seeing more competition within the area outside the reservation, and then increased population within. So that's one of the concerns for the future, what it'll hold. We have things that are going on or happening with the water, with contamination that's affecting the fishing population. The number of commercial fishermen we have is gone down. And these traditions are important for our community, and we need to strengthen those. The way to sustain ourselves on local foods and going back to the local food system.
Okay. Let's go to this one. Well, here's a simple one. Carrie Ashbrook, what is your view on term limits?
I don't agree with it. I think that leaders, they know, like in tradition, a leader is a lifelong leader. Mm-hmm. And they know when they should be stepping down if they don't have that in them to go on. I think we should honor the traditional system, and it makes a difference to have all that knowledge there. But Chris Swartz does an awesome job. We're very fortunate to have him speaking with the governor and speaking in the Voight Task Force and these other forums where he has all this history and this knowledge of the subjects that are being discussed.
Okay, let's go to this one from Christine M. Mackey. What are some topics you will bring up for change, i.e. policies, community gatherings, etc.?
Policies is a good one. Like I said, I view a tribal council as a legislative body, and I see the laws as being something that should go up for regular review and make sure that they're relevant for the times. I also see that we should be paying attention to laws that overlap into our community, such as the state laws, and make sure that we could coexist with each other. And we have the opportunity to influence the state laws as well. So when we have a strong laws and strong position, we can influence what's happening in the state forum as well.
Okay, I want to ask about your opinion, and I don't even know how to phrase it properly. Your opinion on the fact that we have to ask for the approval from the Secretary of the Interior when we have to change our Constitution and things like that. Do you know what I'm referring to?
Yes.
Okay.
So that could be brought up again. With a strong council and a united force, we can get that changed.
That's something you see that we need to change?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, with the backing of the people. Last time we didn't have the backing of the people, I don't think.
And what do you think? Why do you think that happened like that?
Maybe rapid change, and people have to be brought in from the very beginning, knowing that this is a goal, and we can't expect that it would happen overnight. This would be years in the process, I see. The Constitution didn't change that quickly, and a change like this, I would see, would take as long, if not longer.
Okay.
but it would be an important one to make.
Oh, yeah. I want it out of there. So let's, well, here's another one from Doris Hara I've been throwing out there once in a while, too. Would you run for council if you were not getting paid?
Yes. I serve on the parish council and the finance committee. I don't get paid for that. No, that's kind of a flippant answer. I would like to address it more. I think it's important that people know that I am for the council getting paid. They put their time in there too, and it's a way for us to show our honoring of our leaders. But at the same time, I also see those leaders donating their time, and they're donating to causes. I would feel the same thing, that I welcome the opportunity to volunteer and donate towards our different relevant causes and good causes.
All right. So like I said, you went through a lot of my bullet points, so I might give you this option a couple times here just so we can fill up more segments. But is there a topic or issue that you'd like to talk about that I haven't touched on so far?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Let's hear some more.
More questions? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's find you a good one. Well, here's one I've used from Jessica Bowes. And I don't think I asked you. These interviews are starting to blend together a little bit. I don't think I asked you this. Jessica Bowes, what are your views on using technology to propel our tribe into the future?
And as far as the technology, what is...
That's the question that she asked. So I guess you can address that anyway. What pops in your head first?
Well, we have a tribal community college, and it's a great resource for our people here for doing training. And we have a government that works very well with the tribal college. So I think that would be something that would be very beneficial to the community to do together.
Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of technology out there when it comes to sustainability that can help too. You're mentioning like different food and whatnot.
Right.
Can be implemented there. Voting, I think. So let's go to a different one here. Well, you know what? I don't even really... All right, here's one from Terry Denemy. What would a 5-year strategic plan look like in your eyes, starting with year 1 through year 5?
Oh, I couldn't say that because that would be developed with the people and with leadership together. That would be something that would change over time, I think, too.
Evolve. Mm-hmm. Here's one from... Okay, here's another one I missed. It was not expanded. This is from Deborah Parrish. Do you support tribal members who live in Harvey District or Ontonagon having a seat on the tribal council?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. As I said, people within the ceded territory, and those are the reservations too, that they should have a seat at the table. They live within this land where the laws are applied.
Something else I didn't ask about is the tribe's businesses. You had mentioned it, but you had mentioned how you don't think the council should be involved in that as much.
Right. Day-to-day operations are already being handled differently. It gives leadership more time to do the strategic far vision work that needs to be done. Okay,
so I do want to ask your opinion, though, just because, you would be involved slightly in that position. What's your opinion on the casino projects?
Well, they're being handled by a manager. The tribal council set a limit for expenditures, but that's what I see is the purpose of having a manager take care of it.
So do you feel like as a tribal member, the plan was clearly expressed to you?
As a tribal member, I felt like it was expressed.
Okay.
I didn't ask for more details. Back again, there's a business plan that's part of the management that I would have expected would have already been approved.
Okay. And then this is kind of just piggybacking off that, just because it's one of the questions I've been asking everybody. Then what's your opinion on the tribe's cannabis adventures?
It's an adventure.
Yep. I mean, it's not, we don't know where it's going yet. That's why I say
adventure. Right. That's why I'm saying adventure.
Yep.
Our natural resources department looked at hemp fiber, as a potential crop for here.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think we are hitting our timer, so I'm going to reset these cameras. All right, we're back up and running. Before I rudely interrupted you, you were talking about the tribe's cannabis adventure.
And I'm glad it's being explored. I think it's a good opportunity. Plants are medicine, and we've always recognized this. And as long as it's treated respectfully, then it will be a good medicine.
Okay, very good. Then one more time, is there something that I haven't touched on that you'd like to talk about?
I can't think of it at the moment.
We're both going to think of something after it's over, I bet.
I'm sure.
Okay, so then you can take this opportunity and you can speak directly to the voters. And then that's your camera right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after you can speak to your voters and then we'll wrap it up.
I hope you'll consider voting for me for the Lance District. I'm very happy to represent this community. I love this community, and I enjoy my current position, and I would look forward to being even more involved with strategic planning and looking forward to the future for the vision for this community. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today.